Hey guys, we're here at the leadership camp at the Black Canadian Women in Action. This is our first podcast and we are
The Soul Sisters.
My name's Joy.
My name's Sharon.
I'm Gloria.
I'm Anaya.
I'm Nisha.
I'm Atisha.
I'm Tolu.
I'm Yolanda.
I'm Deborah.
I'm Anita.
So our first question is, how do you define discrimination?
In my opinion, discrimination is an unfair treatment of people because they are from a particular group.
I think it's like a pre-judgment. Like, you're just judging people off of what you've seen or heard.
Or like looks?
Yeah, looks too.
Their background.
Race, religion.
Sex, genders, all of that.
Or like how the media depict that group of person.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a
social
certain standard.
status.
Yeah,
Yeah.
social status too.
Yeah.
So what causes discrimination?
I feel like it's like taught. You're not born and like already looking at people and like, oh, you're different than me. It's like the people around you or like the environment you're in, if they're judging people or being discriminatory toward people, then obviously you're gonna pick that up and start doing the same.
Kind of like what you hear, what you see, what you do.
Or it's just like the act of like not knowing who they are. Like we could just judge someone based off like how they introduce themselves or like how they appear, you know?
Have you experienced...
Also maybe because like you might be scared of like meeting a new person, so then you decide to have biases or like use stereotypes against them.
Or like jealousy sometimes. Because sometimes we're jealous of like different races, so we decide to be like discriminatory against them. Or like not just like races, but like different statuses.
I feel like sometimes the intent isn't to be discriminatory, but the action still is. Like, sometimes your intent is like, I don't really like you, but at the same time, what you're doing is discrimination.
It could also be to try and fit in. If you see like your friends doing it and you don't really want to feel like left out and you want to seem cool per se, you
Yeah,
also
like
start doing
influences.
it.
Have you seen or experienced discrimination firsthand?
Well, look at us, and then obviously.
Okay, so tell a story, Tanisha.
So, like, basically, this is, like, in elementary school, and I was in 2nd grade. I don't know where these kids picked it up. I was literally eating lunch, and it was, like, I'm being so for real, rice and sauce. Like, it was nothing crazy, and they were looking at me, and they're like, I don't know if I would ever eat that, but since you're African, I was like, I don't know what I did. It's just rice and sauce. So, okay. And then after that, they proceeded to, like call me, like, caca and things. And I'm like, I don't know what I did. And I didn't even know it was wrong or anything. I was just, like, I didn't know what to do. I was literally 7. So it's, like, things like that when you're at a young age. And it also proves how, like, they're young like you, too. Like, so obviously it's something that's, like, that they're hearing. So...
Like, I think we're taught that, like, as children, we don't even realize that, like, what we're saying to other people is, like, rude. Like, someone could say something so, like, very rude to someone, and nobody would know that it was rude. Like, only the person who felt it would know. But, like, everyone else would be like...
microaggressions.
Yeah, exactly.
This kind of happened to me in grade 1. We were playing this game in like Daily 5, like you know that thing where like you have different activities and you rotate. And then we finished the game, and then I didn't give my card to the other girl yet, and then she now called me a monkey and like a gorilla or something, and I felt really bad and I started crying, but we actually became friends later because it was from, like, she was from a foster home, so it was obviously from something she heard, probably, and yeah.
Something similar like that happened to me. It was actually this year. So we had track and field and we had to like race, like every classes had to race against each other. And like at school I was like really slow when we do physical education and stuff. So when like I won all the race, and people were just like calling me a monkey, and they were like, monkeys don't know how to run, they jump. And like I was just okay, like okay.
What happened was it was at like lunchtime, and at my school there's open gym, so you can go to the gym and like play whatever sport you want. So me and my basketball team, we were playing basketball, and this girl on my team, we were friends. By the way, she's indigenous, so she's not even black. So she passed the ball to me. There was a defender in front of me, so I was trying to make space to shoot the ball. And then literally so loudly and clear, she was like, "Oh my God, shoot the ball, you freaking monkey." And then everybody on the court stopped, stared at her. And then she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that." And then everyone was like, "Bro, what do you mean you didn't mean to say that? Like, you literally thought about it, said it. Like, you know?"
That reminds me of this one girl, because it doesn't really make sense to me, but she would repeatedly like call me like the N-word and stuff, and like, but she's not even black. She's like Asian. She moved here from Hong Kong like 2 years ago, and she was using that as an excuse. So whenever I would call her out on that, she was always saying, "Oh no, I just moved here from Hong Kong," or she'd be like, "Oh no, I was bullied there in Hong Kong, so I don't understand anything." Didn't make sense to me.
And that's the thing, like, you feel like you can't say anything because, like, it makes you seem like the aggressive black girl, always getting mad at people, but it's like, no, what you're doing is wrong, and you know it's wrong. And
Like
it's
the stereotype.
Yeah, the stereotype.
So speaking of microaggressions, what is a microaggression?
It's like not saying mean or like rude things to someone for like firsthand or like to their face. So
Like
And
backhand talking? Like talking behind their back?
yeah.
Or
It's
like
it could be like to kind of they could hear it, but then you'll make it seem like it's not actually supposed to be for them.
Yeah, it's like an indirect insult.
I said an example earlier where it's like all of us have braids and stuff, so like let's say we were in a job interview to like work in an office or something, and the interviewer is like asking you, when you come to work, are you gonna have your hair like that? And it's like saying that your hair isn't professional enough, but they never said it. Like, so you know what they meant, but they didn't say it in that way.
Speaking of the aggressive black girl stereotype, do you think you can act black?
I guess there's no like proper way of like acting black. Like there's like I feel like the media or like people created this whole personality of like the classic black girl and like how black girls are supposed to be. And I feel like it creates like a loss in like identity to like lose who you are because you feel like you have to be this way to be a black girl when every black girl is different. Like we all have different like interests and stuff like that. We all don't have to like one thing. We all don't have to have the same like personality. We're all different in the way we are. That's what makes us black women.
Oh, that reminds me. It's like, you know when people say, or like people call you like whitewashed over something that you
Yeah.
like do that isn't remotely like black. Like, I don't know, someone saying that, "Oh, you don't play basketball," or "You're so whitewashed."
Or even when you talk properly, like when you're like not using slang as much, and it's like, why is it so surprising that like the stereotype is that white people are the only ones that can talk nicely?
Yeah, and also like it's like the stereotype of black people, of like black girls, black guys, is like don't act this too much slang, don't say too much of this, or if it feels like you're from the hood, but don't say like speak properly or it seems like you're whitewashed. It's like they want us to act in a certain way, so we can be actually black, not whitewashed, not too much from like the hood, and it's kind of like offensive, not gonna lie.
But even at that, even if you do act black, some people will still be out there saying like, "Oh, you act like so black," and they're still like shaming you for it.
Like we're stuck. You can't do too much, but you can't do too little.
Yeah. Something happened to me a couple weeks ago where I was playing basketball, and then at some point I got tired, so I wanted to like sit down for a second because it takes a lot of running. And then this girl, she came up to me, and she was like sitting on the bench beside me, and I'm Jamaican, right? So she was like, "How are you Jamaican and you don't like to run?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I'm myself and I don't like to run."
Sure.
Wow.
It's kind of hard.
Like,
Yeah.
they be judging you just because, like, if you're from this place and this, like, country is famous for doing something. Like, for me, I'm from Cameroon. We're famous for, like, playing soccer. And then, like, they're like, "Oh, you're from Cameroon. How come you don't like soccer?" and like with Jamaica, it's running. Like, how you from Jamaica and you don't like running? Like, just because I'm from that place doesn't mean I like that thing.
But at the same time, you don't see me going up to these Canadians and like, you're from Canada, why are you not drinking maple syrup?
Why are you not playing hockey?
Like if we said it that way, all of a sudden it seems so like, oh my gosh, they're so rude. But like, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, that happened to me once. This girl, because when she found out, like immediately that she found out I was Nigerian, she was like, "Oh, you're Nigerian? Then why aren't you like?" Because I'm like black, I'm still dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Aren't like Nigerians like really dark?" And I was like, "Oh, okay."
But that also, like, side note, I think it just reminds me of like when you say you're from Africa, or like if you say you're African,
Is Africa a country?
or like the only, if they, at least if they know it's not a country, the only country they do know is Nigeria. So I feel like that's just, I don't know, I felt the need to say that, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Ghana?
if you come like
Yeah,
straight
Nigeria, Ghana.
from Africa, they'll always ask you, "Oh my God, you're from Africa. How did you get here? Like, what do you think I swam?"
I walked on the water.
Or they be surprised when you say, "Oh yeah, I used to live in like downtown." They'd be like, "Oh my God, you have buildings?" Like, no, we live in trees.
Oh, once I told my friend, another person, that I was from Nigeria, and she was like, "Oh, in Nigeria, did you like live in huts?"
Like,
Like-
yeah.
Yeah, I built it when I was one, actually.
Looks super strong, guys.
Also, I feel like they think that black people can't get tired. They feel like we don't feel the pain, kind of.
Yeah.
Bro, you know what it is? It's because here we have to work like 2 times harder than everybody else. So like if we're taking a break and it's like, no, I can't do this, it's like we seem lazy. But Sophia over here has not been working. You're not seeing anything.
Literally, like, I can really remember anytime my mom tells me something, she's always like, you have to like work harder, because in this world, like, you have to work like 10 times harder, like, because of who you are. And I know what she's talking about. Like, I'm a woman and I'm black, so it means I have to work like a lot harder than most people to get what I want. Like, and that means like I'm getting treated differently than how I am. Like, if I was to like do something, it's not like I wouldn't get the same, like, I would still get the same treatment, but like I'd be viewed differently based on the stereotypes that are put on us, basically.
And like in classrooms as well, it's not just with black people, but like any other like colored person. Like this person, like imagine a colored person is doing this, like a bad thing, like sleeping in class or something, and then like a white person is doing it at the same time next to them. The teacher will always point to the like colored person first. Like I've seen this happen. Like my friend, she was sleeping in class, and then the teacher, like there was another white girl, like across the class that was also sleeping, and she said to like my friend to wake up because like she can't be like missing class and she can't be like sleeping in her class, blah 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 blah. While she let like the other white girl like sleep for the whole class, and she didn't say anything about it.
That's the thing. That reminds me of like Black History Month in schools. It's either they're doing too little or doing too much.
Yeah, and they're always talking about slavery. Like Black History Month is all about slavery. Like come on.
Some people
And it's
are
always
African Americans.
Yeah.
It's always
Like-
the same videos every single year. It doesn't change.
Same speech.
And I feel like
Same
when it's
movie.
Black History Month, people are more racist
Yeah.
because they just like, it was Black History Month for me, and then they're like, "Ooh, you're not a slave anymore." And I'm like,
And I think people need to understand, like, Black History Month is not about celebrating the bad things. Like, it's about focusing on how better, like, the black community has come to and, like, what we are right now. Like, slavery was a long time ago. Like, everybody, I mean, it's important to learn about it, but it's also important to, like, know about the things black people are doing today and, like, what good they're doing to the society. That's the point in celebrating black people.
okay, so have you ever been called whitewashed?
Yeah.
Bro, literally just for speaking English, I'm being so...
I feel bad for calling my friend whitewashed.
Oh wow, you're the problem.
I straightened my hair once to go to school, and people were like, "Ooh, you want to be white?" Like,
Someone told me I looked like a founding father because I straightened my hair.
That's different.
They're about to
If you
get
dress a
No.
certain way at school, if you don't dress like a black person, you know, they would be calling
Wearing
you.
Lululemon.
That's
Yeah.
the crazy
Yeah.
part.
Like everybody wear Lululemon. Asians wear Lululemon. Arabs wear Lululemon. Black people, white people. Like it's just a brand, that sells
That's
its
hella
clothes to
expensive.
everybody.
It is expensive,
Honestly.
but if you can get it and you're wearing it, good
Yeah.
for you.
Exactly.
But what? That's the thing though, because like they expect like black people, like it's just as me, or like they expect black people to be like wearing like expensive stuff, but like they also expect them to be poor.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Like,
Yeah.
you have to have
Where's
your
the
Air
connection?
Jordans with your
It's like it's like when you're in Africa, you're poor, but when you're in Canada, you're supposed to be like really rich, high money.
like
It's
on
like
the flight
tongue
over,
of
I
money.
wasn't making millions. Like, or not even that. Like also when like the straightening hair, when white people are curling their hair, I'm not like, oh, so you're trying to be black. Like no, the judgment. Yeah, but the
Yeah.
braids
The
are
braids,
kind
it
of.
depends. It depends.
Yeah.
It's either if like they want to like celebrate how black people like wear braids and stuff.
It's like
But, like,
appreciation
but then-
versus
yeah.
appropriation.
Yeah.
Like how once the Kardashians were calling cornrows
but you know,
braids.
them
Also, you have to
Like,
wear
what's that?
About the
Like, do you guys
Kardashians.
like
yeah.
that. If you're gonna get braids, at least get them
For
that
your
they look nice.
or like
Like
it's not
literally-
even for your hair texture, so it's like
Yeah,
But
like,
you
Yeah,
guys, like,
you
think
see
that
those
it's
videos of like
sometimes-
those white girls crying because they were braiding their hair. It's so sad.
or like
I'm
when their
not
hair
sad.
falls out.
We told you.
Like, do you guys think that, like, if somebody that wasn't necessarily black got braids, you would feel, like, discriminated?
No,
No.
not really. It depends how they were like flaunting it.
True.
Like it's like
Like
Like,
if
when
you're
my
wearing
teacher
braids, I
got
don't
it-
care. It's just how you talk about them.
Like, if you want to get them for yourself, by all means, go ahead. But if you're gonna get them and be like, oh my god, I look like you now, it's like,
Like, who you trying to be?
Okay, so how do you think we can combat discrimination?
I don't think that there ever will be because you know there's always gonna be someone like
It's like
discriminating.
It's just
a
nature.
cycle.
It's just nature. It's like
But
a cycle.
also at the same time, like let's say if we ever have kids or if we're even like around like younger generations, we have to like be aware that like what we're saying or our actions, like they see it and they'll do the same. So if we like try and be more aware, I feel like we can like slowly like bring it down, you know? But at the same time, like there's always gonna it's like I think it always will happen. Like I don't think it's ever really gonna end.
Like,
Yeah.
not even just, like, white people, like, our own people discriminate
Yeah.
against our own people. Like,
It's like
And
It's
white
like-
people.
Oh, that
Yeah.
reminds me of
There's,
this
like,
girl.
rich black
She was
people
like this
and-
Miss girl because she was like I'm like a quarter black, right? So I can like do all this stuff. So she was always racist to me. I wasn't friends with her. She was just plain racist to me. She was calling me silverback gorilla. She was
Nah,
like, she was
okay,
being
yeah.
really-
Stop there.
Like it's not necessarily like people that I know, but like people that I know, like mixed girls, like they be acting like they're all that. Like they
No,
think they're better
They
than you
act
just
blacker
because
than black
they're
people do.
half white.
But you know what that is? It's kind of like colorism, though, and that just shows like how it is in between
Yeah.
our own community. Cause like the white, like everybody else, they already hated us enough, and now you want to hate each other. But
Yeah.
for what?
Yeah, like, I feel like black people have caused so much, like, it's just, there's a lot of discrimination in our community that, like, is not talked about a lot.
It's like Africans versus Caribbeans, and if it's not Africans versus Caribbeans, it's like a certain country in Africa
Yeah,
versus another one,
exactly.
Yeah.
and it's like chill out.
Or,
And
like,
then when
skin
like
tone.
Yeah.
non-black people see it, they be like, "Oh, you guys are doing it to yourself, so why can't we do it?"
Yeah.
So like, if we want to like tone it down, first we need to like upbring each other and stuff like putting all these separations, like just be black. Like
Well, that reminds me of those teachers that are like doing the most, especially on Black History Month. Cause my teacher, right? My teacher in my old school, she was always like, "Oh yeah, I understand like this pain." We were talking about slavery in Black History Month, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I understand this pain because I'm like 2% black." She said that straight up, like in front of the class. She was like, "Yeah, I understand this pain. It's like I'm 2% black."
Okay, ancestry DNA.
And like, but how can we find solutions to this discrimination?
I don't think
like
it
Nisha
is.
said, maybe just like being more aware with what you say in front of younger kids, because like younger kids are like
They are
the
more than-
future. They're gonna be like in the world longer than you are.
Or like
hopefully.
learning other cultures, or learning like what it means to, like, for example, just like even going out to someone that's not a part of your culture and be like, hey, like, why do you guys do this and that, and like learning that way, you don't see it as something weird, but you can appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
Like traveling more, maybe.
True.
Because
When
one
you
of
get
the
the
main causes for
Even at that, I don't mean to be like negative and stuff, but like even if there's like no discrimination at all to black people, like it depends. It's always gonna be like at least some type of discrimination, like everywhere for some reason.
But be optimistic. Yeah.
Be kind, watch your words, that kind of stuff. Some things are just common sense.
It's just mostly those little kids. They scare me. Kiss.
So,
Yeah.
Period. Okay.
Okay, guys, thank you for watching. It's been the
Soul Sisters.
Bye.